This podcast is sponsored by the following sponsors. The Real Real. Buy and sell luxury clothing, bags, and more on The Real Real. Get $25 off your first purchase when you go to therealreal.com/happy. Shopify, the e-commerce platform I trust for Glossy. Sign up for your $1 a month trial period at shopify.com/happy. Brevo, meet the all-in-one marketing and CRM platform for your business. Get started free or save 50% for 3 months with code HAPPY at brevo.com/happy. Airbnb, start making money by listing your home on Airbnb with the support of an experienced co-host. Find a co-host at airbnb.com/host.
If you could put all your time and effort into one hobby and be so good at it, what would it be?
Maybe like ballroom dancing again or something. But you know the one huge challenge about ballroom?
Can't use it anywhere.
You can't use it
Do
anywhere.
you remember going to weddings in the Midwest?
Oh my God,
So
you
you guys, you got your Pabst Blue Ribbon or your Miller Lite, and maybe it's a potluck wedding, maybe it's not. To go out there and ballroom dance, you look like a freak of nature.
Yeah, we tried it a couple times. It didn't go well.
And we're back.
It's another episode of He Said, She Said.
And before we get started, you guys, we are 1 week out. 1 week warning from when we open up the enrollment for the Mentor Collective Mastermind, which is the most supportive mastermind on the entire internet. And the way that we know that is because that is exactly how we built it. We took that one statement. We said, what's our mission statement going to be? We want this to be the most supportive business program, the most supportive mastermind on the entire internet. And we worked backwards from there. That's why you have unlimited access to one-on-one coaches from every area of business you would need, whether it's legal, whether it is marketing, whether it's social media, whether it's podcasting. You send them a question, they send you answers back. We call answers on demand. It's why there's a call every single week. It's why every other week, every 2 weeks, Lori and I are answering questions about your business questions directly. In other words, we're highly involved. It's why Lori and I have office hours that we'll be dropping in on saying, hey guys, this Friday, this time to this time, come hang out and Zoom with us and talk to us during our office hours. It's why I could go on, but I don't want to bore you. Here's all you have to know. Right now, go over to loriharder.com/waitlist. And I mean immediately. Go to loriharder.com/waitlist. Put your name on the wait list if you're interested, because I promise you a couple things. One, there's going to be way more people than seats available because it's so hands-on. And number two, this is going to be surprisingly affordable. Think about it. You're not going to have to have all these other coaches. You're not going to have anything else. We put it all under one roof, full of interaction, community, collaboration, learning, teaching, you name it. Most supportive mastermind on the entire internet. Go to loriharder.com/waitlist. Get your name on there. It opens April 29th. Now, we're going to help you design a dream life. And the way that Lori and I have designed a dream life is we ask each other stupid questions. We borrowed it from our friends, Rob and Kim Murgatroyd. They used to play stupid idea time. We turned it into stupid question time. And we're sitting around having drinks or whatever, or when we're on long car rides, we'll just say to each other, we'll be like, blah, 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 right? Like a question. And then we'll just kind of dream. So Lori came up with one because we're about to hit the road. We're going from Arizona back to our home in California. And she's like, ooh, I got the question for the road. So I thought, let's do a he said, she said about it. So babe, why don't you tee up the question?
All right. So if we could drop everything and live anywhere for a year, we're going to start with a year, but this could be long term.
Let's keep it to a year.
Where would we go and why?
Let's keep it to a year because that's what makes it fun. Because I don't want to speak for you. I think we already live in our dream place for permanently. What about you?
For sure. I literally was like, do I even want to ask this question? Because I'm actually in my dream spot that I've ever wanted to be and live. But this is for 1 year.
So for 1 year, I've got two answers. I don't know what yours are going to be. You don't know what mine are going to be. Am I limited to just one answer?
No.
Okay. I got two answers. The first one is Paris. I would give anything to live in Paris for 1 year, be able to jump on the train and go over to other parts of France, go over to Italy, go just to be able to bounce around Europe, but have the vibrance and eclecticness and art of Paris as my backdrop every single day. That is my favorite city in the world, hands down. So I would love to spend 1 year there. Imagine what we would learn. Imagine who we'd become. Imagine new perspectives. Imagine new ideas. Imagine new relationships. Paris, hands down for 1 year. My second place would be what I've always told you I wanted to do. And I actually had you agree that you would do it for 1 quarter years back. And then we never got to do it because COVID hit. And that is, I want to be a New Yorker for a year. And really, I just want to be a New Yorker for like a quarter, but I want to have, the apartment and live close to Central Park and do nonstop New York energy things. In your case, the question was a year for 1 year and be a true New Yorker, and then come back to California and finish out our California life. What's yours?
That's interesting about the New York thing. Even when I was thinking about it, I'm like, there are parts of it that I would love to do. I follow some people who live there and I'm like, oh my God, I love their lifestyle. But the thought of being in the city, and even when you said apartment, like small areas, because we have definitely done that before. I'm like, oh, I feel so closed in. I really like the expansiveness of going to an ocean and just having spots where I can really feel expanded, like parks and, trees and just being in nature a little bit more. My number one was Paris as well.
Oh, see, I didn't know that was going to be your answer.
Yeah. When we last went on that trip, I was just like, oh my God, I think I'm way more into art and history than I even ever knew. It's just how I learn it, how I have to learn it. So when we're with guided tours,
Easy for you to say.
when we're on guided tours, like one-on-one with someone, I could get lost all day long. I could get lost for weeks, literally learning about things. And I think it's because I'm so good at visualizing that I'm able to like paint a picture in my head of what it used to be like. And I really like to pretend to imagine what was it like back then? What was it like to be a woman? What was all of the city like? What was culture like what was exciting? And what was it like to walk in this room at this time on this year? Like who would be here? What conversations would they be having? So I can get so lost in that. And I think Paris is like every single place that you walk into has history. So that's why that is so much fun for me. The second, I don't know, maybe Italy. I'm not sure. I think
You don't have to have a second.
I'm fascinated by the Italian culture, and the language is so beautiful and just how family oriented it all feels.
Yeah.
And I really love myself a good winery. So I feel like that's really interesting.
Well, listen, okay. One, I didn't know your answer was going to be Paris and that my answer was going to be Paris, meaning how cool that we're aligned on that. And it's important for people to hear that because we wouldn't have known that about each other, that we're open to living in Paris for a year unless we play this stupid game of just throwing crazy questions out there to each other. And so this is where it has to do with you, the listener. When's the last time with your partner or with a best friend or with somebody you care about, you sat down and just played stupid idea time, as Rob and Kim call it, or in our case, stupid question time, as we call it? And when's the last time you asked pointed questions? If you could wave a magic wand and do anything you wanted as a career, and you would make exactly $500,000 a year, what would it be? Or if you could live anywhere in the world for 1 year or 1 month, where would it be? Or if you could spend one summer doing any career, but it can't be the one you have right now, what would it be or where would it be? When you start dreaming up these questions, you learn things about yourself because we're so busy day to day, just putting out fires and checking off lists that we stop dreaming. And Lori and I exercise our dreaming muscles on a regular basis, the same way we go to the gym and exercise our muscles on a regular basis.
Okay, one more bonus question for you guys. So I'm going to ask Chris. If you could have one hobby that we could make time for right now, just one, and you could get really good at it, what would it be?
Piano. I would sit down and be able to tickle the ivories and
My name's Ivory.
and do it anywhere. Like I want to drop in at a dinner party and be like, oh, you have a piano over there? Let me just see if I know how to use this thing. And like just blow people's minds, right? Get everybody singing. Or, when you see pianos in the middle of airports, you see pianos in the middle of lobbies. I want to go and I want to sit down and I want to jam out on that thing and blow people's fucking minds. Like just have them be like, there's a crowd around you and I'm just playing song after song. I love piano music. Fun fact, when I was a kid, mom forced me, a real young kid, like 7, 8 years old, didn't want to learn anything, but just wanted to play at that time, like play games.
Mm-hmm.
And she forced me to take piano lessons. And I hated the detail, and I'm still this way, of learning all the notes and the chords and everything else, right? And learning how to read sheet music. But I loved playing.
Mm-hmm.
And so my piano teacher, her name was Dottie. I can't believe I remember that. Dottie would play a song and she'd be like, okay, here's how you're going to read the music. And I would just play it back. And she told my mom, she's like, I've never seen anything like this. This kid can play music by ear. I can hear a song and I can play it back. Now I've forgotten where all the keys are and I've forgotten literally how to use a piano. And I only did that for like a year. So I didn't have the full bass anyways. But I explain that because if I sat down to learn those things, what keys make what sounds again, I'd be able to just pick up my favorite songs and play them.
To get a piano.
We tried that.
Keyboard.
We traded that.
Casio.
Remember we bought that huge, beautiful grand piano in our first Arizona home?
Yeah.
With the intention I was going to do this. I never made time for it. But that's the answer to your question. So back to you. If you could make time for any hobby that you're not making time for right now, what would it be?
Oh, gosh. See, here's the thing. Like, once I take that out of Pandora's box, I feel like there's so many things.
Because you have to get really good at it. So this is the heart of the question. If you could put all your time and effort into one hobby and be so good at it, what would it be?
Maybe like ballroom dancing again or something. That's so hard because I want things that I can be social with. So I'm like, maybe tennis, because then I could, be really social with it and compete. So that would be really cool. And I could use it a lot more. So maybe tennis. I'll have to think on that one because, ballroom was freaking amazing. But the one huge challenge about ballroom?
Can't use it anywhere.
You can't use it anywhere.
You remember going to weddings in the Midwest?
Oh my God.
So you guys, you have to understand, we didn't kind of take ballroom lessons like maybe someone getting ready for their wedding. We went double sessions. No one books back-to-back double sessions. No. Double sessions, one-on-one lessons, 3 times a week for 3 years. And Lori entered us into dance competitions against my will, like great big ones where there's 50 or 75 couples on the dance floor, all dancing at once, whirling around everywhere. We're just wandering around like lost puppies.
Gotta have a deadline, people.
Terrible. Except we got pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And we would be like, where do we use this? There's nowhere to use this. And it was the most useless tool. And we'd go to weddings, and not just any weddings, you guys, Midwest weddings. No offense to Midwest, but let's be honest. They're in venues where ballroom dancing isn't a thing. And you got your Pabst Blue Ribbon or your Miller Lite. And maybe it's a potluck wedding. Maybe it's not. And to go out there and ballroom dance, you look like a freak of nature.
Yeah, we tried it a couple times. It didn't go well.
No,
it didn't go well. And we were too young. We weren't like super confident yet. I feel like not crazy, but you know what I mean? To just own it. We were like a little embarrassed because we're like, okay, we need like 15 by 15 feet here. And you couldn't practice at home either because nobody has a ballroom in their home.
Well, here's what happens to Laura and I when we play this game, whether it's moving to Paris for a year, whether it's ballroom dancing or playing piano. Here's what happens. You heard Lori. She said, okay, we got to get a keyboard. So here's where it applies to you guys. One, you got to play the game.
The hardest part about starting a business is often getting started. Build your business in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. Starting your business should be simple. Get more when you start your business with Northwest Registered Agent. Your entire business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Northwest Registered Agent has been helping businesses launch and grow for nearly 30 years. If you want to build your business while keeping your personal information secure, Northwest is the partner you need. In just 10 clicks and 10 minutes, they'll form your business, create a custom website, and set up your local presence wherever you need it. Form your business for just $39 plus state fees, backed by real business experts with decades of experience. Protect your identity and keep your home address private by using Northwest's address on your information documents. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and set up your business in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. Visit northwestregisteredagent.com/earn and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at northwestregisteredagent.com/earn. When I was very first starting Glossy, one of the most important things that we wanted to make sure we had was an incredible customer experience when they were on the website and when they were checking out. And I knew that it would be so incredibly important to make it seamless for them. And that is why we chose Shopify, because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's home of the #1 checkout on the planet and the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%. And we all know if you don't have a great experience, you're going to bounce. And that is not a good thing for a business. And with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, that means way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales are going. Cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout I use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/happy. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/happy to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/happy.
Matter of fact, play this game and DM us like, oh my God, here's what I learned about my significant other, or here's what I learned about myself. So number one, you got to play the game. Number two, you have to take some crazy first step. That's what Lori and I do. We went out and bought the grand piano, even though I didn't end up using it, but it was a crazy first step. Lori booked not just the ballroom dancing, but without my knowledge, booked the competition 3.5 months into it, a competition that we weren't ready for. But nonetheless, she booked the crazy thing. So first you got to have the crazy conversation. Then you got to book the crazy thing, at least one big step so that you're committed. But then third, fourth, fifth, sixth, here's what you do. You start working backwards from that. You're like, okay, I came up with the idea and I booked the crazy first step. But now what really needs to fall into place for me to be able to do this? So let's use the moving to Paris. We might say, okay, we got to figure out how to get a 1-year visa. And then we would get an attorney or an expert. They would tell us, here's the loophole for a 1-year visa. And we would do the, moving around of whatever we had to move around in order to get a 1-year visa. And then we'd say, okay, what else? What about the dogs? Got to figure out the dogs. So then we'd have to find a flat. Is that what they call it over there?
I think so.
We'd have to find a flat that is dog friendly, that would be available for a year, fully furnished in the exact part of town. So then there's another thing on checklist. Now we got to figure out what part of town we want to be in. We'd start asking all of our friends who know Paris really well. Hey, what town can you see Lori? What part of town can you see Lori and I in? Then we'd have to start learning French. So we'd say, okay, when do we want to do this? Well, we got a lot going in life. Can't just pick up and do it tomorrow. So what if we said 1 year out from this time to this time, we're going to live in Paris. So you got to pick the date and have the deadline or it doesn't happen. And then when you have the deadline, you got to work backwards from that deadline. In this case, it'd be, we got to learn French by such and such date. We got to have the visa by such and such date. We got to have all the things set up to take care of our homes back here by such and such date. And you clear the runway, I call it. You clear the runway for takeoff by doing all of that. And before you know it, you're taking off, metaphorically, to Paris for 1 year to live and experience. And those are the steps, guys. That's what you have to do. You have to have the crazy conversation, then book the crazy first step, then book the deadline, then work backwards from there. What all has to fall into place for this to actually happen? And when you do that, proclaim it to the world too, by the way. Tell the world what you're doing. When you do that, you're going to wake up and say, holy shit, I'm living part of my dream life. I don't even know how I got here. I can't believe this. This wasn't on my bingo card this time last year. And here I am doing blank. And that is what leads to a magical life, whether it's in business, whether it is personally, whether it is in fulfillment or happiness or purpose. I hope you guys do this. I hope you play it.
You guys, we're so grateful for you. And we would love to work with you next year. We would love to have you in the Mentor Collective Mastermind. Not next year. We'd love to work with you this year in the Mentor Collective Mastermind, because it's one of our favorite things that we get to do. Chris and I said, no matter what companies we sell, no matter what position we are ever in life, we will always mentor people because it gives us so much purpose. And it is a part of both Chris and I's archetype and purpose for sure. We're both teachers. We both love to teach and be in the trenches with you to show you what next steps you should take or show you our mistakes so that you don't have to make them, because we've certainly made plenty of them for you.
Yep. So there's 2 ways that you can get on the early access waitlist. Number 1, you can go to loriharder.com/waitlist. Put your email in there and you'll be first to know before the general public when we open on the 29th. In other words, first to get the link. Trust me, you're going to want to do that. You don't have a shot at getting into this thing if you don't get on the early access waitlist. Because remember, we put all these coaches on salary. So now we have to be, we can only hire just so many of them to start. So that means we have just so many seats. So number 1, go to loriharder.com/waitlist. Number 2, if you want a slight advantage over those waitlist people, put yourself on the VIP early access waitlist. These are for serious players only. Go and text us. Text us the word waitlist to 310-421-0416. Again, text us the word waitlist to 310-421-0416. We're going to send the link there before we send the link to the regular waitlist, which is the email one. You really want to cover all your bases? Put yourself on both. April 29th, we promise the most supportive mastermind on the entire internet. who is going to be a part of it. I hope it's you. Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next week.